Rakaka.se, Anders here. We are here at IEM and I'm standing here together with Adebisi himself. And I mean, first of all, you're sitting backstage right now observing the games, but can you anyway feel the crowd just a few meters away?
Oh, it's crazy. Totally. I mean, it's funny. I look at, because the first day was closed to the public, and so it was kind of like starting off slow as the open bracket. The games weren't as good as they are now, and so it's kind of like, oh, how good is this event going to be? And now it's just like, holy shit. So it's pretty wild here.
Yeah. And I mean, I want to jump straight into one question. You have been living in Sweden for quite some time now. I mean, how is Sweden as a country for you? What's your impression?
It's good. I mean, I kind of visited a whole bunch. Like, I mean, back last year, I'd come over, I'd do a DreamHack event, then I'd do like Aces Summer, or I'd do DreamHack and WCS events. So I mean, I'd stay over at the Good Studio between both events. And Sweden's good. I've been staying for a while. It's kind of during like the winter, it's like when there's only like 4 hours of sunlight. Sometimes that's kind of like, oh geez, especially when you wake up at like 2 in the afternoon and there's only 2 hours of sunlight. But it's good. I'm enjoying my time in Europe.
And I mean, Sweden, can you point out something that you like a little bit extra? Is maybe some place you like to go in Stockholm or something like that?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I don't know. I'm just a nerd. I just like staying at the studio with all the guys. Like, it's good. I haven't, like, I gotta be honest, because I travel so much and I haven't really seen as much as I want to see. So hopefully I spend some more time in Stockholm, these coming months before the kind of esports season really kicks off.
And yeah, you mentioned the studio, I mean, Too Good Studio. How is it being a part of that team? You seem to be a very tight group.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I originally kind of Apollo hooked me into DreamHack, and then I just started staying at the studio between events, and it's been really good. I mean, James is awesome, and the rest of the guys at the studio are great. So I'm enjoying my time and looking forward to the rest of 2013.
But you're living in a house right now. It's a couple of guys living together, right? How is is it a lot of underwear on the floor and stuff like that? How is the cleaning in the house?
Yeah, that's the one thing. It's like, I mean, I rented a house with 4 guys when I was going to university, and then I kind of moved on from that, and so it's kind of weird going back to that, living with a bunch of guys. But it's it's fun. It's fun. I'm the kind of person, I'm like, I'm usually pretty neat, I'm usually pretty tidy, so like when the kitchen is like a mess, it's kind of like, oh, this is shitty, but it's good, it's good.
All right. And there have been quite some talks about you maybe getting into casting a bit more, maybe together with Apollo, teaming up with him more. I mean, what's your opinion on that?
I mean, I kind of got out of casting a little bit because I never wanted to, like, I don't know, casting to me when I got into it was kind of just more as a hobby, and I never really saw myself as being that big guy on camera, on stage, hyping things up and whatnot, but I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. I mean, if we're doing some stuff in the studio that's more casual, more laid back, I'd be happy to get on and cast some games. I mean, last DreamHack when Apollo's voice went, he took over observing and I did a day of casting with Control, and that was a ton of fun. So, I don't know. Commentary's fun. I don't know what the future holds really. But I mean, I like the observing thing. It kind of fits my lazy personality and attitude, and like I hate dressing up. I mean, wearing a tie sucks, and apparently to be a commentator now you have to wear a tie, so I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. And I mean, this is the first big tournament of 2013, but obviously you spent the whole 2012 on the road, basically traveling from all over the world. And how is 2013 gonna look? Are you planning on maybe slowing down a bit, or is it just gonna be the same?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, like, it's funny because this is my first Intel Extreme Masters event, and last year I basically did more or less every MLG event, and then once I started doing the DreamHack events, I pretty much did every single DreamHack event. So when I mean, November like almost killed me last year, and so I look forward this year and I'm like, well, if I keep on doing every DreamHack and MLG, and all of a sudden now I'm working with Intel Extreme Masters too, and with the studio, we've been doing some stuff with Thor Open, we've been doing everything else, and it's kind of like, shit, this is too much. So I don't know, I'm kind of still waiting like everybody else to see what DreamHack and MLG are going to announce, and then of course Intel Extreme Masters next season, what they're going to announce. So I don't know, but I definitely don't want to be traveling like 3 weekends a month, all that much. So I have no idea really, but this year is going to be crazy. I don't know what's coming.
Okay. And I just want to mention some about this observing business that you're in. Looking at it right now, you're really like the one big star, the go-to guy when people needs an observer. But don't you think there is room for even more people like you in the scene? And would you welcome that? Would you maybe even consider like taking in someone to tutor them or like something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Intel Extreme Masters, when DreamHack Winter was going on, they had Nfeza doing the observing at Singapore. And I mean, I hope I actually been meaning to kind of try and talk to him. And I mean, he lives in Australia, so it's kind of hard for him to, you know, do like North American, European events. But I mean, there definitely needs to be more people doing this in the long run. And it's kind of hard because it's like everything else. It's kind of, you got to step things up gradually. And so, I mean, for me starting off, it's kind of like convincing these events that they need an observer. It's kind of like, well, the commentators used to always do. So it's like you kind of have to sell that. And then all of a sudden I'm adding kind of someone competing with me in them for events. But I mean, there's so many events now. And, you know, a lot of these events have multiple streams and everything. So there definitely needs to be more people. But it's definitely very challenging to get into because, like, you can't just, you know, like starting off as a commentator, you just sit in your bedroom and, you know, load up a stream and there you go, join some games and commentate whatever little tournament. But it's not really the same as an observer. Like doing that remotely doesn't really work. So it's definitely one of the challenges. But I definitely think over this year we'll see more people get into it, which will definitely be a good thing.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the interview and good luck in the future year.
Thank you.